Hello, I want to thank everyone for joining us here for the quarterfinal post-game press conference of the 2025 CUSA Basketball Championships. We're joined by Florida International head coach Jessica Burks-Wiley, by senior forward Isnel Nadabu, and senior guard Lucia Flita Robles. We'll make sure the attending media here in Huntsville have the ability to ask their questions first. Then we'll move to our Zoom audience. If you are with us by Zoom and want to start keying in a question, please feel free to start doing that. If you don't mind, please state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your patience. We'll now begin with the opening statement from Coach.
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't start with just saying how proud I am of my team. We got down to a lot of points this year, just 7 kids, or sometimes just 6 and impossible. And like I shared with them on the court and like I shared with them in the locker room, they embodied resiliency this year. They embodied fight. We got everybody's fully loaded punch every night, day in and day out, and our kids did a hell of a job throwing their own haymakers back. So I just can't even really put into words right now just how proud I am of our kids and how proud I am of our culture.
Okay. Questions?
Jessica, Jeff mentioned the Bowl News, Daily News. I guess the stat that stands out from the box today was free throws. So missed opportunity.
No, absolutely. That is definitely something you never want to leave money on the table when it comes to that. But, attrition is real. These kids, I think, are giving me from the top of their follicles to the end of their toenails, and when you're going against people that got multiple rotations, it's tough. It's tough. So definitely hate that we left that much money on the table. But the fact that we created 35 opportunities, it's hard not to be proud of that as a coach.
Effective way for you guys to attack them all night. I guess if you wanted to kind of address that, really big game for you. Was that the game plan going in?
It's no secret that I did all I could to be a big part of FIU offense and defense this season. And I was aware, we all were aware, that I will be a target. And my coach and my whole team assured me that that doesn't change anything. We all will be target. My teammate Lucia is an amazing shooter. She also knew she will be very limited from three-point line by the other team. But we knew doesn't change anything. We all know each other. We need to still keep attacking. And I did my job tonight in the way that I felt the support from my team.
It was a short turnaround from the first time or the last time you guys played them. What did you feel like you needed to do different to get this game much closer than it was the last time?
I think last time out at our place we didn't do a great job of protecting the middle of the floor, and we're going against a team like Western that is such a great shooting team. You give them the logo, they're going to make you pay for it because now you're giving their shooters great windows. And so I think we did a much better job of protecting the logo or protecting the middle of the floor, forced them to make a lot of decisions in the outer third or on the sidelines, forced some tough shots, and allowed us to get into the open floor, which is when we were at our best.
Lucia, just your perspective on the game today.
On the game today?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of the team because we came back from a 14-point lead. I think that's huge. I feel like the free throws are a big thing, and that we were limited on the three-point line. We couldn't shoot a lot. We normally shoot more than 14 threes, and we just couldn't make them a lot. Their defense was just limiting us. But I think we really fought tonight. And that turnaround is like really what we wanted from last game. We wanted to show that that was not us that last game, and I think we did. Everybody just did everything they could. I don't think nobody that stepped on the court didn't give effort for the team. Unfortunately, one of our teammates went down, so that's also one of the big subs that we have. But in that case, all the teammates had to step up for the game today. It's unfortunate. We were close. I think we could be proud of ourselves this season. It hasn't been easy. And I think we just got to take it and just use it for next season, the coaches and whoever comes next year.
Any other questions in the room?
Just looking at last year, what do they do particularly well? What is tough to match up with for you guys?
They do a great job of getting out in transition. They do a great job of trying to get you to overcommit and, get wide open kick out threes or overcommit and try to backdoor you, get something at the rim. Defensively, they're a really, really long team, so they're trying to play in passing lanes. They're trying to spread you out and keep you scared from attacking the logo. And so I think they did a solid job of that tonight. But like I said, to have the turnaround we did from our place to now, I think our kids did a hell of a job adjusting with the numbers that we had.
Okay, any more questions?
Matt McKay, Talrack. You got WKU in foul trouble, and especially the second half, you shot a little better. Do you feel like because of the foul trouble, you were able to be more aggressive inside and get some better looks?
Absolutely. Us being able to get downhill, force the whistle a little bit. And the times we were able to actually get to the free throw line, you get to rest a little bit, you get to set up your defense a little bit more, it allows you a bit more of advantage. And I think our kids, these two definitely in particular, did a tremendous job of carrying the load with that. Izzy obviously all year has been, I will say it, not even one of the best players. And she is the best post player in our league. She's been that consistently all year. And so she carried a load, as far as getting, our guards to be able to get to the free throw line because she draws so much attention and allows us to get up that foul count. Lou does a great job of, going from being a shooting guard to a point guard. Then you're going to be a shooting guard again. Then you're going to be a point guard again. But putting them in some really, really tough situations, attacking off the bounce, which is a huge area she had to grow in. But her growth allowed us to get some really, really great looks. Well, that allowed us to be able to get some easy baskets, whether it was on the free throw line, great kickouts, or some cuts to the basket.
Any further questions? Keith, I'm not seeing anyone in the chat room. Okay. Ladies, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for joining us here for the quarterfinal post-game press conference of the 2025 CUSA Basketball Championships. We're joined by Western Kentucky head coach Greg Collins, by junior guard Josie Gilvin, by senior guard Alexis Mead, and Coach, I'll let you make the other introduction in a second. We'll make sure the attending media here in Huntsville have the ability to ask their questions first. Then we'll move to anyone on our Zoom audience. If you would, please state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. Thank you for attending. We'll now begin with opening statement from Coach before opening for questions.
Well, first, it was a gritty, tough-fought game by FIU as well. It's this time of year, sometimes the season doesn't go the way you want it to go, but they came in and fought like they were playing to get to play on Saturday. And so, a lot of compliments to them. And I'm really proud of not just these two young ladies, especially these two, but all the team, because we talked in the locker room that maybe earlier in the year, if we had some of that adversity that we face today, we may not have stuck together like we stuck together today. And so we had to overcome some things that didn't go in our favor, but they never, I always tell them that they never flinched. They just kept locked in and they kept doing what we do and just stayed focused on surviving and getting past this win and getting a chance to play again tomorrow.
Okay. Questions, folks?
Yeah, obviously, with a news conference like this, it's hard to balance between what you just did and what's coming up. But I guess we should start out with the game that just happened. Obviously, they were kind of attacking you guys in the post, and they had some success with that. But you guys managed to weather that storm pretty well, I thought.
Well, we did a really good job in the last game we played at their place. And they did a really good job in this game of being able to get that ball inside to her. And we weren't quite as disruptive on the entry passes as we were last time. I don't think we had any lack of fight and effort. We just didn't execute it as well defensively as we did last time. And so, and there's a reason she leads the nation in field goal percentage. If she gets a catch down there deep, it's a lot to stop. And so I was proud that we kept doing that. Really what hurt us more than anything were just those second chance opportunities that they got around the rim when we didn't get rebounds or we didn't box out. And so, credit to her for getting those touches and finishing, but credit to our young ladies for not letting that determine the outcome of the game.
Right, they never actually led this game against you. You got out to that early lead, and obviously they came back on you a couple times, got within two on a couple of occasions, but just seemed to handle that and punch back when you needed to.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned earlier was I felt like, they didn't flinch. They just stayed true to what we were doing. They stayed locked in. We didn't always execute what we were trying to execute the way we wanted to, but they didn't let that stop them from playing hard and making the next play. We always talk about win the next 10 seconds. Just focus on and win the next 10 seconds. And so you got to let the last play, positive or negative, you got to let that go. And you got to focus and play the next 10 seconds. And so I felt like for the most part they did a good job with that.
Just wanted to know how you're feeling. You took a little bit of a shot there.
I feel good. I think I got poked about 3 times, but I
Yeah.
feel all right now.
Lacey, you drew, it was like 5 fouls and took 12 free throws. Was that part of the game plan to get you inside and draw some stuff, or was that just kind of opportunity? And you took it?
I think every game, coach is telling us to try to get fouled. It's, honestly, it's up to the refs on whether or not they, call certain things. But he's always telling us to make an aggressive move. So I think out here today, each and every one of us were making aggressive moves. And if we got that foul call, we got the foul call. But props to everybody that shot free throws today. I think we shot a good amount of free throws and good percentage. So.
Josie, what about your confidence? It seems like you've kind of come into your own the last 5 or 10 games or so, really producing. I feel like that's just kind of getting into the groove of the season, or is there an explanation for that?
Yeah, I feel like my teammates, they do a good job at finding me where I'm open, and I know what's a good shot and what's not a good shot. So, if I'm comfortable taking that shot, I'm going to take it. But, it's a lot of work put in throughout the summer and stuff like that. So, yeah.
She's being modest. She worked her tail off in the spring and the summer. And this doesn't just happen by playing, 15 or 20 games during the season. She worked her tail off in the spring and the summer. And when she was a freshman in this spot, teams wouldn't guard her. And so she took that personally. And she worked and worked tirelessly. And I even had her coaches in high school called me this summer and said, Josie's in here in the high school wearing these high school kids out. Can you tell her to stop it? So this is a result of a lot of hard work on her part.
Just looking at the free throw differential in this game, that could have factored if they needed more free throws. Part of that, I guess, is just a product of the way they were attacking it on the inside, but they were drawing a lot of fouls.
Yeah, what do you want me to say about that?
Do you feel like that was a pretty cleanly called game, or was it a tight game?
We're going to play again tomorrow. I'm not making anybody mad. And so we overcame some adversity today, and we played hard, and we didn't let things that we can't control determine the outcome of the game. And that's what we really talk about all the time, is that we can't control that. And so we're not going to let that determine the outcome of the game. And so there is a differential in there, but that wasn't the differential that counts. The one that counts is the final one on the board.
Hoping to get an update on Acacia too. She's got the twisted or turned her ankle maybe?
Yeah, we're not sure. We're just waiting for things to calm down, and then we're going to get her evaluated by the trainer and the doctors, and we'll see how she feels more. She's a tough kid. If she can go, she'll go.
It's a 24-hour turnaround. This is tournament time. You guys did that during the regular season in Maui, so some experience with this group. But kind of how do you prepare for that with this amount of time?
That rest, recovery, and then we'll watch film. We've played these teams. Everybody's played each other at least twice already, and so we'll get back and we'll be ready and we'll be prepared to go tomorrow. And so there's not a lot extra to do right now. You've got to be who you are, and you just got to be the best at who you want to be.
What springs to mind with middle to get ready for middle?
For us, number one, you got to rebound. You got to make sure you try to rebound. And then we need to make sure we continue doing what we do well, which is move the ball, take good shots, take quality shots, and then we've got to not flinch. Every team makes runs. FIU made runs. Every team makes runs, and you know that's happened to us in other games throughout the season. So we've just got to make sure we keep our eyes focused on what we're trying to do.
What do you feel like specifically with Middle? They've got Moldy Rava, they've got other solid
Yeah.
players as well. How do you handle some of their weapons and try to minimize what you can?
Now, I think that they're really well balanced. Like, you know, they've got one of the best, if not the best, three-point shooter in Jalen Gregory out there. And then to me, it's got, you know, she can play, she can hit threes, she can get to the basket. She's a tough guard as well. You know, and then they added Elena Enrique as well, who can play on the perimeter, but is also surprisingly a really good passer and really does a good job of getting that ball inside to Bold Raven. So they're really well balanced. So we've got to do a good job defensively, making sure that paint is hard to get to. And then we'll have to close out and contest those three-point shooters, and then try to, again, protect that paint.
Do you feel like the depth for Middle is something that you could possibly attack, maybe try to draw some fouls and get some people on the bench, or you take that approach?
That's a great, you can't control that. Is it a great idea? Yes. Is it something you would like to happen? Absolutely. We don't have the whistles. And so we have to make sure that we do the things that we can do, and that's, we got to play defense, we got to move the ball, we got to make sure we take good quality shots.
Any other questions? And don't see anyone in the Zoom chat room, so Coach, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you.